What's up, world? Welcome to the Host Show English. This is the place where real conversations happen. And today, we are starting our journey with a true global icon. He is a comedian, a Hollywood superstar, and a businessman who built an empire from scratch. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kevin Hart.
Man, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Look at this studio, look at this view of New York. This is beautiful, man. I am happy to be here with you.
The honor is entirely ours, Kevin. Your energy is incredible. Everyone knows you today as this giant star who fills stadiums, but I want to take a step back. I want to look at the psychology of the man before the fame. You grew up in Philadelphia. When you look at that young Kevin back in Philly, what was the biggest dream in his mind?
Wow, that's a deep question to start, man. Look, back in Philadelphia, the dream wasn't about being a millionaire or having big cars. The dream was just survival, you know? It was about finding a way out. I used humor as a defense mechanism. My city, my childhood, it was tough. But inside my mind, I always had this voice saying, asterisk, you are meant for something bigger. Asterisk, I didn't know what it was yet, but I knew I had to find it.
That is powerful. Using humor not just to entertain, but to protect yourself. Many people give up when their environment is difficult. What do you think kept your mind focused on that bigger thing when everything around you was pulling you down?
Know what it was? It was my mother. My mom, Nancy, was a very strict woman, but she gave me structure. When the streets of Philly were crazy, she kept me reading. She kept me focused. She taught me that your current situation is not your final destination. So, even when things looked bad, my mindset was always fixed on the future.
Structure and mindset. That's the foundation. But then you decide to step onto a comedy stage for the very first time. I read a biography that said your first few stand-up shows were an absolute disaster. You were even booed off the stage, right? How does a young guy handle that level of psychological rejection?
Oh man, disaster is a nice word for it. It was a complete nightmare. I remember this one club in Philadelphia. I got on stage, I started telling my jokes, and nobody laughed. Zero. Total silence. Then, someone threw a piece of chicken at me. Yes, a piece of fried chicken.
No way. A piece of chicken? That is wild.
I swear, in that moment your ego is destroyed. You want to run away and never look at a microphone again. The psychology of rejection is heavy, man. It hurts. But that night, I went home, looked in the mirror, and made a choice. I didn't say asterisk, I am a failure. Asterisk, I said asterisk. The jokes were bad, but I can get better. Asterisk, that choice changes everything. If you separate your identity from your mistakes, you become unstoppable.
Separate your identity from your mistakes. That is a golden nugget right there. Most people experience failure and think they are the failure, but you understood it was just part of the process. How long did it take for the industry to finally notice that you were ready for the big leagues?
Man, it didn't happen overnight. Took years of traveling, sleeping in cheap hotels, and doing shows everywhere. But the real turning point was around 2009 with my comedy special, I'm a Grown Little Man. I decided to stop trying to please everybody and started being 100% honest about my flaws, my height, and my insecurities. That's when the audience connected with me on a deeper level. Authenticity is a magnet, man.
That is a great psychological point. When you embraced your insecurities, they became your biggest strength. And from that moment on, you didn't just stay a comedian, you became a mogul. You launched Heartbeat Media, you started producing movies, and you became a businessman. Why was it so important for you to own the business instead of just being the talent?
Ah, now you're talking. That's the ultimate shift in mindset. Being the talent means you work for someone else's dream. Creating the company means you control the narrative and build a legacy for your family. I looked at the big picture. I wanted to create opportunities for other creators. I always say, don't just sit at the table, build your own table.
Building your own table is the ultimate goal, but being at the top of the mountain comes with a price. The psychological pressure must be immense. Everyone is watching you, expecting you to fail, or waiting for you to lose your drive. How do you stay hungry, focused, and disciplined every single day when you already have all the money and fame?
That is the real test, my friend. When you have nothing, hunger is easy because you want to eat. But when you are full, staying hungry requires extreme discipline. For me, it's not about the money anymore. It's about testing my limits. I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day. I hit the gym, I review my goals, and I put in the work.
4 Uhr nachts. That is a true commitment to the craft.
Every day, man. Because the moment you become comfortable, you start losing your edge. Distractions are the biggest killers of dreams. People get distracted by a little bit of success and they stop doing what got them there. You can't let your environment dictate your focus. If you want to remain the best at what you do, your dedication has to match your ambition. Every single step you take must bring you closer to your ultimate vision. Everything has its time, but you have to put in the time first.
Your dedication is truly inspiring, Kevin. Don't let your environment dictate your focus. That is a lesson for life. We are reaching the end of our show, but before you go, I want to ask you one last question. Imagine someone is watching us right now. This person has a big dream. Maybe they're trying to learn a new language, build a business, or relocate to a new city, but they're facing doubts, distractions, and hard times. What is your final piece of advice for them to maintain total focus?
My advice is simple. Stop making excuses. Nobody is going to build your dream for you. You are capable, you can do it, but you have to accept that every single step you take is a building block. Don't fake who you are. Embrace your journey. Understand that everything has its time, and put your full dedication into your goals. If you don't dedicate your time to your own vision, someone else will hire you to build theirs. Trust yourself, keep moving forward, and never stop.
Wow, what a powerful way to close this episode. Trust yourself and never stop. Kevin, thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, and your incredible energy. It was an absolute honor to have you as our very first guest.
Thank you, my friend. It was a pleasure. To everybody watching, keep practicing, keep grinding.
And for everyone watching at home, thank you for tuning in to the Host Show English. Remember, VIP guests, real talk, and high-quality content. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comment below on what was your favorite part of Kevin's mindset, and keep practicing your English every day. We will see you in the next episode. Peace.